and others, welcome to round 2 of the Formula Trout Premier Series. My name is Ross McIntyre, and today the hills are alive with the sound of V6 hybrids. That's right, we're heading to the Red Bull Ring in Spielberg, Austria. A relatively short track coming in at 4.3 kilometers or 2.7 miles, and with only 10 turns, the Red Bull Ring is all about keeping that momentum up through the flowing, undulating corners. Turn 2 is a particular challenge with the camber, so it takes to keep an eye on how everybody fares through there. I've definitely spun out there many times myself before, and it's certainly wouldn't be surprising to see a few people spin out there today as well. Now, just a heads up from me, this is my first time actually broadcasting trout along with commentating, so please do let me know in the chat if you need me to adjust the volume or anything. I'm still getting to grips with how everything works. As we can see a spin there in the background as everybody starts out on their first qualifying lap. So we should be seeing a few cars head out shortly. So let's try and get a different camera going. Unfortunately, I'm not going to select the car as it seems until we have some time on the board. So let's talk about what's happened in Formula Trout since the last week. Well, Toby Sanford has left Volpino Artico for a Challenger Series, Premier Series drive even. Yep, Toby Sanford has managed to find his way into the Octan seat. And apologies for the audio, I'll just turn that down now. Hopefully that's a little bit better. Thank you for helping me out. It is very appreciated. As I said, this is my first time doing Formula Trout broadcasting as well, so it's a learning experience for me. Hopefully, when Caitlin comes along later for the master split, it's all just that little bit smoother. But as I was saying, Toby Sanford has now left Volpino Artico for Octan Racing in the master split. He has been replaced. And I'll lower the game audio a little bit further. There we go. And as I was saying, yes, he has been replaced by Arnav Sharma at Volpino Artico. As we can just see a few cars, we should be seeing some of the first qualifying laps being set now, if the tower wants to work, and it would appear we are not. But as I said, Toby Sanford now at Octan Racing. So that is that's all of the gossip that's been happening over the last 2 weeks here at Formula Trout. It would appear that my tower is not working, so I'm just going to try and hopefully get that to work, because it would appear to not be operating properly, which is a shame. Apologies for this again, first time, still trying to get the hang of it, but I'm sure once we've got everything going smoothly, it will be all fine. This is obviously only qualifying. There's still 40 minutes to sort everything out and to set a lap as well. Now, and we have seen the first lap times being set in. Mustafa Moradi is the car with the quickest lap at the moment. He is, however, on the way into the pits. Arnav Sharma, the man who has replaced Toby Sanford, has seemingly taken his skin as well for the day. I was informed he would be in a Formula Trout skin, but apparently he is in Toby's skin. And that is a very quick lap there from Arnav Sharma. It's a 1:05.1. Now, as I mentioned here, very quick laps around the Red Bull Ring. It's a very short track. And plenty of high-speed corners, and plenty of places to make a mistake. And one of those places is up here at turn 2. You can see, as we're just on board with Sharma here going through, just how tricky that corner is. If you've not driven it before in sim racing, it is possibly my least favourite corner in the world, to sum it up. It's so hard to keep the rear end planted, even with the amount of mechanical grip and rear downforce that these Formula Hybrid 2020 cars have. It is so tricky, and when you're pushing nearly 1,000 horsepower on the exit of the corner, putting the throttle down, it can be a real tough experience. And one thing to note at the moment at the top is how close it is at the top of the timing screens. Moradi and Sharma only 4 hundredths of a second separated. Obviously, it's only been 3 or 4 minutes of qualifying so far. The track won't have evolved all of the way. Further down the grid, though, as Moradi comes to the line and starts his hot lap. They are a very intriguing helmet there, it must be said, with the eyes. Bit of a wobble out of the first corner. If we can hopefully go on board with him. There we go. No problem. We still just haven't quite set the cameras up properly. My Mercedes in the pits was a bit finicky getting into the game. And here we are on board already. Let's go around for a hot lap. Coming out to turn 2, on the run out to turn 3. DRS will be wide open at this stage. Now, keep the car to the left. Will he run on the curve? Yes, he does run on the curve a bit just before the 50-meter. We'll get the car turned in, harden the brakes, and harden the throttle. Doesn't use all of the track on the exit. And it appears he's abandoned this lap already to let another car by. So perhaps Moradi will be setting off the next lap. However, my point is still standing. Here's Jannes van Dijk. I'm just going to move this board up here. Apologies for that, because when the race comes around, it's every possibility that that timing screen will get blown up a little bit, and we won't be able to see that. But yes, Jannes van Dijk coming to the line now. It's 1:07. However, he's only 4 hundredths off of the top, so it's very, very tight here at the Red Bull Ring. Let's go back on board with Moradi, because it's likely that he will be heading his way round soon. And yes, here is Moradi. He is 2 tenths up in the first sector. Let's get a proper hot lap this time, shall we? DRS will be wide open this time. On the run down into turn 3 or turn 4 if you're a Formula 1 fan. Braking for the 50-meter turns in. Oh, a little bit too much on the entry to the corner. And round goes the rear end. That laps out the window. And it seems like Sharma is leaving the pits, so into Toby Sanford's skin. Also, seemingly picking up where Sanford left off in that Volpino Arts car. He definitely displayed some good pace at Bahrain. Unfortunately, had a spin early on. And, perhaps just not quite settling into the car or the league. It was obviously his debut race. And now he finds himself in the master split. So a very big jump very quickly. And we'll just see how he fares later on. But right now, it looks like Sharma even, apologies, is filling that role very, very well. He's currently on provisional pole as it stands. As he will be preparing for a lap this time round, I'm sure. His teammate Luca Manghini currently down in P15 as it stands, 1.5 seconds off there is Luca. And it looks like Rositis has just taken provisional pole by 3 tenths. But let's carry on riding on board with Sharma. Let's see if we can get an actual hot lap in this time. There's a car going very slowly on the edge of turn 1. Let's not let him distracted brake about halfway between 50 and 100 metres. That's 75 if you're any good at maths. I'm not very good. Arnav Sharma now on the climb up to turn 2, banging through the gears. 8th gear. This is the fastest part of the circuit now. Now heavy braking. Try not to lock up. Try not to over-rotate the car. Get it turned in. Very nice there from Sharma. Power down pretty smoothly. DRS now will be wide open down at the back stretch. Braking into the middle set, turn 3 even, should I say, not the middle sector. Now on the run out, bring the car in, and it's another very tricky corner. It's very deceiving, supremely early apex. Ride the curb on the exit, doesn't turn out a little bit before the corner, shifts down though to get the car rotated in. That could cost him a bit of momentum on the front end. There was a big wash of understeer as he shifted down to try and get the car turned in. Into the final corner now. This is a very strong lap from Arnav Sharma. Let's see what it's going to be as he comes to the line. It will be a 1 minute 4.9. It's an improvement, but it's not quite quick enough. It's not quite on the same pace as Agnes Rositis, who's gone off, it appears, at turn 1. There appears to have been some contact there. I'm not quite sure what's happened. There's contact between Rositis here. I do wonder who it was. I believe it was one of the Horizon Racing Team cars that he touched around in the background. If I can just perhaps try and see who it was. Gustavo Dalla Valle, currently in P8, or P6 overall even, apologies. Moradi just goes straight to the pole. Great lap. Oh, wow. A fantastic lap by Mustafa Moradi. Finding himself up by 0.4 of a second by Gustavo Dalla Valle. And it would appear that the lap times are now beginning to tumble, because the laps are just getting faster and faster and faster. Everybody out on track at the moment. Here's Stephen Fox. A lot of people in the Formula Trout squad today. It appears that perhaps my Simpson has not quite calibrated properly. Simpson is the program that we use to calibrate the skins, and it would appear that I have perhaps made a mistake in that. So my apologies for that. I assure you it will not take away from the viewing experience. Here's Max Semenyuk flying through. I'm sorry, I'm also trying to gauge at the same time. There's me in the pits for some reason. There you go. No, don't be on me. Thank you. I'm still trying to gauge what the best camera angles are. As I've said probably about 30 times already, this is my first time broadcasting, so a little nerve-wracking, but it's all a learning process. I'm sure I'm going to be getting the hang of it very quickly to bring you all the best viewing experience at home of the Formula Trout Premier Series Challenger Split here at Austria. 6 minutes to go left in qualifying here. Mustafa Moradi currently on provisional pole by 0.4 of a second. Gustavo Dalla Valle, who was disappointing, if I'm brutally honest, last time out in Bahrain, in P2 as it stands. Van Dijk now looking to cross the line to start his lap. Let's ride on board with Janis Van Dijk coming into the first turn now. Hard on the brakes, turning in. Wow, look how close he was to the sausage curb there on the exit of the first corner. Fantastic stuff from Janis Van Dijk. Let's see what the split is coming up to the first sector time. And it is only 400. Oh, and he locks up heading into turn 2. Oh dear, that's going to be the end of that lap from Janis Van Dijk. Absolute disaster there. Kees Willems is looking to be coming into the pits this time around. I don't know why it's gone to this camera angle. Apologies. Back to Van Dijk. Here's Dmitry Kameshov now. In a, what is a very, very nice liveried car. In the Dim Bob Racing Fila-sponsored. Looks a bit like the Williams that was due to be in Formula 1 last year in pre-season testing, and then never happened. But I did like that livery. It looks quite nice, it must be said. Dmitry Kameshov now on his way up into turn 2. I don't know why it keeps going to that camera angle. Apologies. I don't want it to go there. And he's letting some cars pass now. And you can see that everywhere is just fighting for track position at the moment. Apologies, I appear to have just pressed the wrong button there. So you can see just how quick the circuit is from the rear camera angle. Kameshov currently in P4. We're going out for a lap this time round. Or not, he's coming to the pits, as a matter of fact. I'm sure we'll be seeing that these will be the final times here today. And we're heading into the pits before they go out and set the final times, even should I say. Obviously, track evolution is very much an important thing in single-seater racing and qualifying, and it's all about heading out onto the track at the best moment. Kameshov heading back out now. Let's see what Moradi's doing at the top 0.6 on anybody else at the moment, which is a huge, huge gap. Moradi does not appear to be on a lap, or he may be on a lap. No, I think he might be on a lap. Let's have to find out. Heading through super fast middle sector now. Another tricky section. at the moment, Mustafa Moradi is the man to beat today. But as always, there's still 2 minutes and 37 seconds left in qualifying as Moradi comes up the pits. We'll go over to Giovanni Amorim. Or Giovanni, should I say, apologies. And around goes Amorim there, so you can just see, even on the outlaps, how hard everybody is pushing here today. Back away he goes. Moradi's still in the pits. Dalle Valle is on a lap this time round. Let's see what it's going to be as he comes to the split line. He's not out on a lap this time round. I take that back. Here's Giovanni Amorim, who just in span. Janez van Dijk appears to be on a lap. Dmitry Kamashov also on a lap. This is the crunch time now in qualifying. Here's Luca Mengini, who will be on his final lap. Max Semenyuk, Mike Thompson still in the pits in the Griffin Gaming red car. Kees Willems appears to be just getting ready, all coming into the pits. Wow, that's cutting it very fine there is Mr. Willems. But I think for the final time we will ride with Mustafa Moradi, the man who is on provisional pole as it stands by 0.378 of a second. This will be his final out lap, and I think we will ride with him around for his final hot lap. At the moment, it seems he is the man to beat. So we'll have a look and see whether he's got what it takes, whether he's got the pace to grab that pole position. I don't know why it keeps going to that camera. I'm very sorry. That camera is extremely annoying me. I will sort that for the next race. It is a rather frustrating camera angle to have when you're trying to watch someone hot lap. But Mustafa Moradi now starts his final flying lap. All 4 wheels almost off the track in the first turn. Flying now on the run up to turn 2. Hard on the brakes. Turning in now, using all of the track and then some to try and maximise that pace advantage. Here he goes now, DRS wide open, flying down the backstretch on the run into turn 3. Another tricky corner. If you don't get the brake balance right into here, you can so easily lock up. Don't over-rotate the rear of the car. Power down nice and early. Very nice through there for Moradi. Now, on the run to turn 4, another tricky corner, deceivingly early apex. Turning in, hard on the throttle. 2/10 up on the best split. Coming through to the final end of the lap now. Moradi turns in. 1 corner to go. Here it is. Mustafa Moradi, final lap of the day. Oh no, and he's spun in the final corner. Mustafa Moradi. Oh no. It was looking so nice for Mustafa Moradi. Giovanni Amorim is still on a lap, so we'll follow him around and see what he can do. Mustafa Moradi, as it stands, will have pole position. Unless Giovanni Amorim has something to say about it. And he does. He's 2/10 up on Moradi on this lap. Let's see what he can do. Coming into the final 2 corners now. Bit wide through the second to last. Final corner. Let's see what it is coming up to the line. DRS open. Foot to the floor. Giovanni Amorim does not get pole position. P2 for Giovanni Amorim. Let's see what Pavel Aronov's doing. Even he is stopped at the side of the road. It appears like that will be it for your qualifying session. And there you have it. There you have it. Mustafa Moradi on the pole. That will be it for qualifying. So Moradi takes pole position. 2/10 to Amorim in P2. Sharma, great pace on his debut in P3. Dalle Valle in P4, Van Dijk P5, Aronov P6, Kamashov and Rositov P7 and 8, Semenyuk and Lutals round out the top 10, then Jacek, Willems, Fox, Thompson, Amorim, Mengini, Elson and Kanini round out the grid here for the Challenger split at the Red Bull Ring. Now we just wait for the race. I'm just going to update my SimSync quickly. I can do that. I've just been I can update that, hopefully. If you would just give me 2 seconds. Yep, if you just give me a second, I can update SimSync. Hopefully, this will get all the liveries working. We may possibly have the race postponed on my end. Apologies if my SimSync doesn't work. This is just to get the liveries and the track livery working properly. There we go. There we are. It is now done. There we are. As you can see, everything is now as per expected. Okay, so I apologise. I will have to just quickly leave the server. So we'll just go back to our lovely standby screen. And I will just very, very quickly leave and rejoin just to get everything working as properly. Again, apologies for this. Just a few seconds now until we can get going again. Again, thank you for bearing with me. As I have already said today, this is my first time running the broadcast side of things. It's a quick learning process, albeit a steep one. But I'm getting the hang of things, and I'm sure that we will be able to improve the viewing experience for all of you as we go along today. And then when Caitlin comes along for the Master Split, and she's had much more practice than I have, shall we say. So if I just go back to the pits in my... if it wants to let me go back to the pits in my... lovely Mercedes, which you can see here, it is not letting me escape back to the pits as of the moment. I'm trying my best. Let's get a look at the grid, shall we? That's not the angle I was aiming for. There we go. That's a bit nicer. And it is still not letting me go back to the pits. You can just see my Mercedes there. Okay, the red lights are on. And we are underway here at the Red Bull Ring. I'm now back in the pits. My timing screen is not working. As you can see, everyone's flying up through the first corner. There seems to be a contact there. There we go. Here we are on board with Sharma now. There seems to have been some contact at the back of the pack. And yes, there is. We've got an accident at the back. That's Jamie Elston round. Apologies for the shenanigans at the start of the race. The game wasn't being very kind to me. We are away now. That's the Koenigsegg Kart Republic. And we got another car going slow there as well. Mike Thompson running very slowly. Looks like he's got some big damage. Yet pulling over to the side. That will be the end of the race already for Mike Thompson by the looks of things in the Griffin Gaming red car. Back to the pits he goes. Super unlucky for him. On board though with Mustafa Muradi. It's been a great start from the pole sitter. And look at the gap he has already, 1.3 seconds at the end of the first lap. It's a great start from Muradi, heading onto the main straight now. going under the start finish. He will lead the first lap here at the Red Bull Ring, flying into the first corner. There's more action at the back. I believe Dalla Valle might have just spun around. Nope, Dalla Valle into the pits. So, looks like we've got some damage on Gustavo Dalla Valle. Got another car into the pits as well. That's Dmitry Kamashov, I think. Yes, it is Dmitry Kamashov in the pits. Obviously, some cars sustained damage with that first lap incident. Apologies, they did not quite catch that due to Assetto Corsa being it's got a lock up there for Andrea Canini, almost spinning around. Who's that behind him? I believe that is Morum and Menghini, both side by side behind him. Menghini's going to pull to the outside. Let's see if he can get the move done. Luca Menghini around the outside of Canini. Wow, what a great move by Luca Menghini there. Menghini and Canini locked in this battle. Who's going to be ahead as they come through turn 4? Still neck and neck. It is super tight between these three. Menghini, wow, great start from the young Swissman. He's really been showing a lot of improvement over the recent weeks in multiple series, and that has just proved out an absolutely fantastic over there from Luca Menghini. Alpine Articar, he didn't qualify too well, but up to P11. Great stuff. Muradi, however, Morum only 8 tenths behind now. These two are a lot closer than they were the previous lap. Coming through turn 3, there's moves behind as well. That's Kees Willems side by side with Jannis Van Dijk. Van Dijk dives down the inside. Great move. He's also on a different tyre compound. He appears to be on the medium tyres as they head through, or what, actually no, the soft tyres, no, mediums. Please do apologise. Yeah, they are the mediums. Again, this camera angle, apologies. Great camera shots there though as we are flying the run down to just look how quick the cars are through this section of track. They are so planted. Obviously, the Formula Hybrid 2020 is no slouch, based off of a Formula 1 car. And these are well, some of the fastest regulations we've ever seen in terms of Formula 1. Who was that? Getting a bit sideways in the back. Was that Max Semenyuk getting a bit of a wobble on there? I think it may have been. I'm not sure. I just saw a driver getting very sideways out of turn 1. Believe it was Semenyuk. Not too sure. Already back up to a second in front of Morum at the moment. Looks like all the battling is happening in the midfield. Lap 4 of 47 here at the Red Bull Ring. Gustavo Dalla Valle sets the fastest lap of the race. He's already onto some fresh tyres despite that early damage. He is a very quick driver, Dalla Valle. And I'm sure he'll be willing to prove something after what was quite a quiet race from him out in Bahrain. Oh, and it's a spin there for Dalla Valle. Round he goes. I was saying how treacherous turn 2 is. And there you have it, just perhaps locking up slightly on the entry to the corner. Just not too much rotation in the rear, and round it goes. These cars, once you get the rear going, it's like a pendulum. You cannot get it back. All the weight's at the rear of the car. Round goes Gustavo Dalla Valle, just so singing his praises. Apologies for the commentator's curse there, Mr. Wow, that's everything's going on here at the moment. Muradi still in the lead of this race. The camera angle's not being very kind to us here today. Obviously, the game doesn't quite like the hills of Austria today. And getting a bit of fence in the way as well. Muradi still holds a commanding lead. 2.2 seconds to Morum, behind 2.3 seconds now. He is pulling a huge gap. He's led every single lap of this race, and these two in the lead have pulled a massive gap to P3. Aronov down in P3 at the moment. A huge time. 8 seconds to Muradi in P1. That is absolutely massive. On board with Aronov now. Let's see if he can make it through turn 2 well enough. Yes, he can. And the way he pulls Seems to be a bit of a mix-up going on in the midfield here. Keys Willems leading this massive pack worth of cars. And down the inside, that's Sharma going down the inside of Keys Willems there. Great move by Sharma. It seems to be the favourite spots for overtaking today into turn 3. Willems trying to fight back. Can't quite make the gap appear at the moment. Let's go on board with the Willems now. Trying to follow Sharma through the final section. The dirty air won't be helping him here. And Sharma already pulling a bit of a gap. Willems might have to turn his attention to Rositis behind him. Crossing the line. Look how close Rositis is to him. Willems managed to pull the gap back out for the time being. Rositis, though, in that TC Esports car, will be looking to try and get that position. It will appear that Jacek has DNF down in P15. Just had a message, just DNF, so perhaps a server disconnect, perhaps. Unfortunate for him. Yeah, it's the second retirement here today. 16 cars left. It would appear like Kanini has spun out of the second corner. Kanini not having a great race here today in the Horizon Racing Team car. He's running very slowly as it stands. And Kamyshov's gone as well. Kamyshov. Dmitry Kamyshov also out of this race. And then there was 15. At the moment, Dale Valle is in a world of his own down in P15 after that box and spin. But as it stands, Semenyuk now coming into the pits. Max Semenyuk is in the box. Coming in for his stop. Let's see what tyres he goes on to. How long it takes, could be having some damage repairs as well. Onto the medium tyre, or the soft tyres even, and out he goes. No, those are the mediums, apology. I still apparently can't get over my hangover of calling the yellow hardballs the softs. They are the mediums nowadays. Out of the pits comes Semenyuk, down to P14. And Moran has a commanding lead now, 4.8 seconds. Murad even has the lead over Moran behind. Van Dijk a further 5 seconds behind Moran. This is Giovanni's view at the moment. Very, very lonely it seems. Coming through T2. It is an awful camera angle there. I do apologise. Just the undulation of the track getting in the way a bit. Coming into turn 3, you can see how much of the curb these drivers are using around that corner. It looks like Willems falling behind Rositis now as well. Let's go ride with him. Keys Willems. Yep, you can see there Rositis ahead in the TC Sports car is saying that he was going to find that position, and he has now. Agnes Rositis up into P5. He's got a bit of a gap to Sharma in front, who's performing very well today. But Rositis has been quick on these soft tyres, so we'll just have to see what he can do. Obviously, here in Formula Trout, there's 3 tyre compounds available between the C1 and the C5s. And the softest of those being the soft tyres and the hardest of those being hard. 3 are chosen by the league. And no refueling allowed in the pit stops. You do have to change onto another set, another compound of tyres at some stage during the race. So a pit stop is mandatory in that regard, but no refueling allowed. And no limit on pit stops allowed. You can come into the pits every lap if you so wish, and I've just been informed you can actually use all 5. Apologies for that. Thank you for informing me there, Alex Cochrane. Who's again, just want to continue. That's some blue. I just want to, again, extend my thanks to everybody over at Formula Trout who've been very helpful to me during the last few days, just helping me get the broadcast up and running. It's been a pretty daunting first experience, but it's been nice to have the reassurance of everybody over at Formula Trout. As Van Dijk sets the fastest lap there, 1:06.1. Very strong lap to be setting this early in the race. Jannes Van Dijk. Sharma following on behind. Van Dijk still, though, currently in a bit of a no man's land as it stands. 3 seconds behind to Sharma. 4 seconds in front to Amorim, who may have suffered perhaps a spin, because Moradi is now 6 seconds ahead of Amorim. Moradi is absolutely dominating here today. We are still to see pit stops, though. Deacon into the pits in the other Dim Bob Racing car. Heading back out again very quickly onto the yellow hardwood. Canini and Meghini. Looks like there was a bit of contact between the pair. Yes, there was. Canini and Meghini both suffering there. I'm not quite sure what happened. There must have just been a coming together. Perhaps an overtake attempt was made. And just misjudged the braking. Contact between the pair. Both of them spinning out. Sharma, it would appear, sets a new personal fastest lap of the race there. I've already said today that he's been doing fairly well, but he has indeed P4 on lap 12. It's been a great first outing for Sharma in the Volpino Artico squad today. Riding on board with him. No longer riding on board with him out of turn 2. Another, that striking Artico livery. Obviously the junior team of Volpino Racing in the Master Split. Here's Moradi in the lead with his interesting helmet. Just look at how fast the cars are through that penultimate corner. Absolutely planted. The levels of downforce that these Formula Hybrid 2020 cars have is simply phenomenal. It cannot be said how quick these are some of the fastest Formula cars that we've seen in real world motorsport. So it's obviously no surprise they're quick in game as well, but they are breathtakingly quick, and to extract the maximum kind of pace out of there it's a hard task to do, and Moradi is certainly doing that now. He is really putting the pace on. I've also just been sent a screenshot of the incident at the start, which was a big spin at the start by the looks of things on the first corner. Still riding around with Moradi. Almost 7 seconds now as we approach lap 14. Let's see if he comes into the pits this time. Canini has come into the pits, presumably for damage. Dalla Valle finds himself now up into P13. Let's see if let's see how Dalla Valle is doing. Obviously, he's been on that early pit stop strategy. There was not sure if there was contact with someone perhaps, but he decided that it was best for him to come into the pits early on. He's down at P13 at the moment. He did suffer a spin. Quite a costly spin on the first time out with those new tyres. As I'm not sure at all what is happening with the overhang there in the background. Apologies for that. It was just not having a great time, it appears. But Dalla Valle still on his way around. And you can just see how quick these cars into the final corner. Moradi almost has 8 seconds now on Amorim. That being said, Van Dijk is closing that gap to Amorim in P2. He can now see him on the same straight. They are very close. Needing Sharma behind as well. The same gap behind Van Dijk. 2.8, 2.9 seconds. It's a similar gap, fluctuating obviously as we go. Rosita is behind them as well, slowly hunting them down. Van Dijk is able to run longer on those yellow sidewall tyres. That being said, obviously he will have less grip in comparison, but the tyres can go longer, such as the heat cycle. And that strikingly green trout level, which does look rather spectacular, it must be said. Lap 15 here of the Formula Trout Premier Series Challenger Split at the Red Bull Ring in Austria. And, we've had plenty of spins and accidents so far and some great racing. Let's hope for much more as we see a car going very slowly on the inside there. I think that was Luca Mangini who's spun. I believe that is... no, that's not Luca Mangini. It's Amorim coming into the pits. Yes, Giovanni Amorim does come into the pits. There we are with the onboard camera. I thought it was Mangini because I saw him get overtaken by Dale Valle, but no. Giovanni Amorim comes into the pits from P2. So now, let's see. He goes on to the white wall tyre, so he goes on a very hard tyre. Obviously trying to get a one-stop out of this as Bob Deacon retires from this race. 14 cars remaining. And just to say that, obviously not quite got that heat in the tyres, runs wide out of turn 2. Does Amorim. He wants to get a quick outlap, so when Moradi comes to the pits, presumably in these next few laps, he can have the advantage. Perhaps he's gambling on Moradi. Coming into the pits for a set of the yellow wall tyres, which are slightly faster, but cannot go the same distance. If he goes to the yellow tyres, he will need to stop again. So, that would appear to be what Amorim is gambling on. However, Moradi at the moment has the advantage. He holds the race in the palm of his hands. So the question is, will he try and go for that two-stop race, or will he just play it safe, go for the one-stop? Amorim thinks he can make the end. Moradi can go longer on the softer tyres. There's no reason he shouldn't be able to go to the end as well. Here's Jannes Van Dijk heading down into turn 3. Amorim comes into the pits again, it would appear. Ah, this is his brother, that's why. Bruno Amorim this time into the pits. I got a bit confused there for a second. Obviously, Bruno and Giovanni racing together in this series, not to be confused with one another. And Sharma's disconnected. Sharma out of the race. Oh no, drama here at the Red Bull. Another car that does not finish. And this time it's Sharma who was running so well. 18 laps in. Oh, that's such a shame for Sharma, who was doing such a good job running up at the top end of his, according to my source in Conor Peltman's, is that his brake pedal has gone. That is such a shame. Such a shame. Sharma. 13 cars remaining. He was running so well. Conor Peltman from Alpino Team Boss and a Master Split driver. Just in the chat letting me know. But, it's such a shame for Sharma. He was doing so well. But obviously, hardware failure, mechanical failure, whatever you'd like to call that scenario, that is part and parcel of sim racing. It does happen. On board now with Jannes Van Dijk. Currently in an absolute race of his own. 11 seconds to Moradi in front. 10 seconds to Rosita's behind. Moradi going a very long way on those Red Bull softer tyres. Yeah, C4s here. He's obviously very much enjoying them. Van Dijk is just in a race of his own at the moment. He's driven well today. To be fair, has Jannes Van Dijk. He's not quite had the pace of Moradi, who's just been absolutely phenomenal out the front. But I've been impressed with what I've seen from him so far. Obviously, the Challenger Split is the second rung of the Formula Trout calendar. Obviously, after this race, we'll be having a Master Split, which is the top level. There is also the Sprint Series, which is coming up as well, which is another rung below this. But As always, the team bosses in the Master Split will be watching the Challenge Split with fervent interest. They want to see who the up-and-coming talents are. They want to see, you know, who's who, anybody who could be a threat potentially in the future. And I must say, Van Dijk has not done a bad job today at all. However, Maradi in P1, phenomenal stuff from Mustafa Maradi at the moment. He has been absolutely phenomenal. And I tell you what is phenomenal as well is the gaps down in P7. Semenyuk, Fox and Willems are all over each other as it stands. A second and a half separating the three of them. Willems currently has the advantage in P6. Semenyuk though looking very, very tasty at the moment. Fox is not lapping too quickly, it seems. Looks like Willems has come into the pits because that was a very slow last lap. Either that or he has spun. And Semenyuk now has the slipstream coming into turn 2. He's going to have a look down the inside. This is going to be a very brave move if he can pull it off. Down the inside, hard on the brakes. Great move there from Semenyuk up into P6. Great stuff there, and he'll get the benefit of the DRS as well. Semenyuk now will try and get a gap to Willems. Fox behind them. I'm sure we'll be looking to try and catch up as well. Semenyuk already has 5/10 on Willems. That is quite some pace advantage. It stands. It may have come to unbelief that Willems has spun by the looks of things. The MP Racing driver has a bit of a gap, it must be said. Oh, and he's just going to come outside along his teammate there by the looks of things. Aronov coming out of the pits, it would appear, right in front of Semenyuk, and Morum as well into the pits. So Van Dijk now leads this race. Oh no, this contact! Oh, big crash! Big crash! Oh, dear me! Semenyuk, Aronov and Willems all coming together. Teammate touch. And then Willems just misjudges braking, nowhere to go into the stranded Semenyuk. Rositis in the pits as well. Willems managed to actually benefit out of that the most out of anybody, but Aronov and Semenyuk. We'll see if he comes into the pits. He might have damage. No, he does not. Semenyuk up into the air for a brief moment. Wow, that was I was not expecting to see that at all. But there you are, Kees Willems gains 2 places via an accident. That's one way to do it. Amorim already back up to P3. Maradi in P2. Looks like Maradi has gone onto the C3 yellow wall tyres. So Amorim his gamble might pay off at this rate. He's on the C4s, or the C2s even, apologies. On the C2s, on those white wall tyres, as Maradi sets the fastest lap of the race. He will not have to make an extra pit stop as it stands. I mean, he may, but judging from my view. Maradi, though, we know he's a very, very quick driver, and he's on the faster tyres. So, the question is can Maradi get the gap big enough so that coming into the final stint, he can afford to make that pit stop? As it stands, the gap is 12 seconds. I assume he will need around 20. And already looking at the delta massively increasing, it seems he may be able to do that. Lap 24 of 47. Over halfway now in this race here at the Red Bull Ring. Maradi sets another fast lap into the 105s we go. 105 0.754 there from Mustafa Moradi, who was absolutely flying at the moment. He's the fastest man out on circuit by a country mile. And the Moran behind. Again, not setting great laps on those C2s. 14 seconds, 2 seconds quicker on that lap was Moradi. Van Dijk going very long, though, on those yellow sidewall tyres. He obviously wants to play the long game, but in a different format. He started on those C3s, and it's paid off well. In the lead of this race at the moment is Jannes Van Dijk. As he comes across some lapped traffic there in Bruno Amorim, who duly pulls over for him, which is very polite, it must be said. Obviously, blue flags are a thing in Formula Trout, as per real life. If you don't get a blue flag, you have to get out of the way, or you will get a penalty, and likely a very, very, very angry message from the driver you've impeded. Jannes Van Dijk at the moment is a very solid race from Moradi, though, behind. That gap is closing. 6.7 seconds at the moment. Let's go on board with Moradi, shall we? The man with the pace at the moment. Turning into turn 3. Another thing about Moradi is very interesting as well. It's just he's very smooth in his driving style. You know, you see, if you watch his movements on the steering wheel, it's silky smooth. You know, you don't see fast jerking of the wheel. You don't see aggressive stabs on the throttle. It is so calm. It's very interesting to see someone, and that's how he's able to get those tyres so long in the first stint as well. Moran had to come in a lot quicker, a lot earlier, even should have said, than Moradi did. And that's just purely down to the driving style. Moradi is so smooth with those tyres. Just look how much care he takes through the corners. He caresses the steering wheel. Up on the one now to turn 2, and again, look through here. This is the corner where it's very tricky, and it's super vital to be smooth, and he does exactly that. Not even looking at the curb on the exit. He doesn't need to. Alrighty, 5.6 seconds is the gap now to Van Dijk. Here's Bruno Amorim down in P9 at the moment. He's got a bit of company behind him in Lutels. You can see only a second separating the two. This could perhaps be a battle to watch out for. Another battle to watch out for as well. Kees Willems and Aronov ahead. Willems only 8/10 separating the pair of them. 4/10 separating Lutels. I think we're going to go back and look at this one now. Bertijn Lutels has the DRS. He won't be able to dive into turn 1. The Griffin Gaming are running very wide. That's not the track, mate. And there's a car off to the side there as well. Who was that? Was that Van Dijk off to the side? Yes, it was. That was Jannes Van Dijk. And now it's only a second and a half to Moradi behind. Oh dear, Jannes Van Dijk on the throttle too early out of turn 1, it seems. Finding himself round, and now Moradi has a second to work with. This could be the easiest overtake in existence. Van Dijk on warm tyres, just spun, overheated. Moradi on fresh tyres is the fastest man on the track at the moment. Well. Let's see what comes out of this. 6/10 separating the pair as it stands. There is that's a Griffin Gaming car off the road there. I believe that was Lutels. Yes, it was Lutels. Into the pits comes Van Dijk. Lead of the race in. Moradi regains the lead of the race. Let's see what tyres Van Dijk goes on to. Waiting seemingly forever for the pit stop. Out he goes on the C4s, the Red Bull soft tyres. This is interesting. I was not expecting him to go onto these. I was expecting another set of the yellow C3s, and then on the C4s right at the end, he's electing to go quick in the middle stint. This is a shake-up. Okay, let's see if this gamble pays off. He obviously wants to go on the same tyres at the end as Moradi. He's got the pace. This could pay off. And he's managed to keep it on the road in turn 2 as well. We've seen so many cars drive off the road in turn 2 on cold tyres. Yeah, huge gamble here by Jannes van Dijk. Very interested to see how that pays off. Here's Bruno Amorim, who's enjoying life at the moment down in P9. It's not a bad performance from him at all today. Dale Valley's worked his way up to P8 as well. Great stuff from him. The field seems to have settled into quite a decent rhythm. Approaching lap 30 of 47 now. Obviously, just to again clarify, there are 2 Amorims here, Brothers Racing. We've got Bruno down in P9 and Giovanni, who we see here up in P6. They're in the same team as well to make things even more confusing. But they are very much 2 distinct people. We see Giovanni at the moment on the C4s, C2s even. Again, still getting tyres mixed up. Now, Amorim has 16 seconds to Maradi in P1, who is absolutely flying at the moment. The man in the lead, he dominated out in Bahrain. He's dominating here today as well. Still a bit of a spasming in the background, it would appear, from one of the billboards. Maradi is just taking that car as gently as he likes. It's almost an Alan Prost-esque performance, just coaxing the car around. He's driving very quickly, but he's not pushing the limits. You can tell where he's positioning the car, how he's driving at these. Very much, this is roughly probably 80-90%. He's just driving it super carefully, super fluently, taking care of those tyres, taking care of that fuel. Yet he's still absolutely flying here today at the Red Bull Ring. Lap 31 of 47 here. With a few cars setting some fastest laps, including Jannes van Dijk, who sets the fastest overall lap, 1:05.196. We are getting quicker and quicker as the fuel drops and the track evolves further. And again, Maradi, just super consistent, super gentle. Completes another lap as he sets off again. This is almost probably boring for him, a routine race. He's so far ahead of Amorim in P2. Now, let's have a look at Van Dijk, who took that gamble to go onto the softs in the middle stint. The gap to Amorim, it's not falling as quick as he'd like, I think. I mean, he's the quickest man out on track at the moment. That lap was not that great, to be fair, it must be said, but he's only 7 seconds off, but I just don't think he'll have wanted to progress this. I think he would have wanted to gain more time a lot quicker. Obviously, Amorim is on the hardest compound of tyre, looking to one stop to the end. Van Dijk looking to box around about the same time as Maradi, so they can perhaps duke it out to the end, I think is his thinking. Rosita's behind him as well on the softs, or the mediums even, the C3s. Another driver to keep an eye out for. He's only 6 seconds off of Van Dijk. He has been He's been quiet, but he's been strong this race. He's found his way up the order. Pulled off some good overtakes. We've got a bit of a battle going on for P10 here. Bertine Lutels with Fox behind him. Neck and neck. Fox all the way off the track as Jannes Van Dijk sets the new fastest lap of the race. Let's see what happens up here. Fox has a look to the inside. We've got a really poor exit out of turn 1. Lutels, for the time being, holds the position. Fox will get the DRS down the back stretch, though. Wide open it goes. Will he be brave enough to have a look into turn 3 at the moment? I think he might be a bit too far back. Yes, he is. Not quite yet. 1 second now separates the pair. And Fox, 7. Oh, Fox has made a mistake, it would appear. He's dropped really far back. And it would appear that Fox has made a mistake. And that's Dalle Valle who seems to be off. Dalle Valle off! Gustavo Dalle Valle round again at the first corner. Oh, it's another spin. Dalle Valle, who was touted as one of the favourites coming into this season. He's had 2 nightmare races by his standards. And he finds himself now down in P9. What a shame for Dalle Valle. Or Dalle Valle, should I say, apologies. I'm still trying to learn the names as well. Oh, and he's had another spin! Around goes Gustavo Dalle Valle again. Around he goes. Into P10 he falls. Lutels, it would appear, is coming to the pits as well during this whole ordeal. Canini in as well. Currently in last place, P13. Oh, there's a car off there as well. Is that Fox that's off the road? Yes, it is. Stephen Fox off the road. So Lutels may have had a pit or a spin earlier, but he's found himself back in P10. Oh, and Dalle Valle limps into the pit lane. That is a depressing sight. Onto the softs. 12 lap blast at the end. Goes past my Mercedes. And it heads back out. Travel on board with him over the rest of this lap. See if he manages to make turn 2. We've seen Celeste has not been able to make turn 2 on their outlap on fresh rubber. The tyres just not up to temperature. Let's see if a similar thing happens for Dalle Valle here. And he is well around that corner. Good stuff from Gustavo there. Semeniuk into the pits as well. He'll be going on the softs to the end as well, I presume. Let's see. If I'm to judge correctly, Moradi and Van Dijk will also be coming in for their final stops anytime soon. Out heads Semeniuk. Van Dijk still closing in on Amorim. Dalle Valle looks like he's just been able to get through Semeniuk as well. On the run down into turn 3. Yep. Down the inside. Easy as you like with the DRS. Gustavo Dalle Valle begins his redemption arc, I suppose. That's not exactly a redemption arc. He's still put in a very solid performance today, even with those spins. Had it not been for those, he would have been in a much, much better position today. Still 10 laps to go though here at the Red Bull Ring. Anything can happen. And as so often in sim racing, it usually does. It's a new personal best as well for Dalla Valle as he crosses the line. Great stuff to see from there. Van Dijk, however, only 2.5 seconds off of a Morum in PE2. Now a Morum, we can see him there. Giovanni on the C2s. He's on the slowest tyre compound. Well, not the slowest, but the slowest that works around here. You can see the C1s just being too slow to even bother driving on. And Van Dijk has pulled it on a very good rate of knots. 2 seconds separating the pair now. And that's only going to increase through this corner, I'd think. It's only a matter of time now before Janus Van Dijk is able to pounce on a Morum by the looks of things. And Moradi still going around as well on those softs, so it may be that a Morum's gamble just has not paid off. Moradi perhaps is able to go to the end of those soft tyres. We know how smooth he is. I was singing his praises earlier just about how smooth his driving style is. And it would appear that it may have just benefited him on those medium C3 yellow tyres. And he might actually be able to one-stop this. That would be a phenomenal result if he's able to. The gap down 5/10 on where it was this time round. Last lap. And again, still dropping Van Dijk. Perhaps starting to just feel the effects of that dirty air. However, he's still catching him. I've just been sent what has happened to Sharma's brake pedal. And I can say that that is broken, unfortunately. What appears to happen, that it has sheared a bolt, and the head of the face plate of the brake has come loose. Unfortunate there for Sharma, who's doing so well. But again, just to reiterate, his brake face plate shearing a bolt and coming loose. Unfortunate for him, but he's shown us what he can do here today. And next time out, he will have a point to prove as Giovanni Morum laps his brother Bruno. Bruno down in P7, which would not be a bad result at all. Double points for the Amorim brothers. Van Dijk just eking that little bit closer. And Bruno gets out of the way of Van Dijk as well there in the backdrop. Morum has fallen another second behind Moradi. At this rate, Moradi may be able to stay in front if he does come into the pits. Van Dijk's within a second now. And if he manages to get a good exit in turn 2, he will have the DRS into turn 3. That's when it becomes dangerous, when you've got that momentum. 8/10 is the gap. Super late braking from Van Dijk. May not have it though, not a great corner exit. He does have the DRS, there you go. So let's look at the gap. Just wasn't close enough that time. Those red-walled soft C4s may perhaps just not quite having the grip that they once did. Van Dijk, however, now within 0.3 of a second. You see a mistake from Amorim earlier. DRS open again. He'd be brave to have a look at the turn one. And he takes my advice. All very close there. Super late braking. And actually, yet Van Dijk overshoots his brake marker by quite some distance and off into the runoff area. And he's got to do all of that work again. And all the while, these two are battling. Muradi is pulling further and further away. Lap 42 of 47. 5 laps to go here in Austria for the Challenger split of the Formula Trout Premier Series. Amorim still holding firm, but now Van Dijk is catching at some pace. Already the gap down to 6 seconds, and Amorim's tyres may have reached the end of their lives. And again, Van Dijk will have this look at already. He's even closer this time around. 5/10 separating the pair into T1. Again, overshooting his braking just in the dirty air, but he'll be even closer this time into T2. And on the exit of T2, he'll have the DRS. And here we go. Van Dijk now in the driving seat. DRS wide open. He is going to be too far back again, though. Van Dijk perhaps just running a lot more air than Amorim. He's just not quite quick enough in a straight line. But he's so fast through that middle sector with those soft tyres. Even when waning, they are so much quicker than those hard tyres, which are frankly centuries old. Look at the gap. 3/10 separating them now. This is super close. And here we go, Van Dijk just not quite getting the exit again. DRS wide open though. He's really struggling on the corner exit, is Jannes Van Dijk. That's a fantastic exit there though. He's right in the slipstream of Amorim. Again, just not quite being able to make that pace up in 2T2. Oh, and he sends it! He goes for the dive! Oh, not quite close enough. Wow, that was super late on the break. And Rositis is DNF from P4 as well. More drama here at the Red Bull Ring. I'm not quite sure what's happened there, but out of this race goes Agnes Rositis in the TCE Sports number 17. 12 cars remaining even now. Van Dijk still over the back of Amorim. I have no doubt that Giovanni is feeling the pressure. And with that super late lunge from Van Dijk, now he knows he's there. He knows he's brave. 2 laps remaining here. Or 3 laps even. Little bit of a wobble on the exit from Amorim. Just got on that sausage curb. Van Dijk well within the slipstream. It's another wobble on the corner exit from Giovanni Amorim. Van Dijk is closer than he's ever been before out of turn 2. Does he have a look down the inside? No. Amorim goes defensive. He goes for the move down the inside. Van Dijk up into P2. What a charge. What a charge from Jannes Van Dijk. Phenomenal stuff. Absolutely phenomenal. He has been pushing so hard this stint. And then just when I thought Amorim had the inside covered, he makes it work, he makes it stick. And already has 7 seconds on Amorim behind. I think Amorim may have spun in one of the corners. His tyres are toast. He's got 32 seconds to Aaron on the P4 with 2 laps left to go. Van Dijk will not have the time to make up to the line, but what a charge to P2 from Jannes Van Dijk. Take a bow, son. Wow, 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 wow. Stuff, and I have a confirmation that a Morum did go off there. Into P2 goes Van Dijk. Phenomenal. But you know who else has been phenomenal? This man, Mustafa Moradi. Absolutely dominant. Heads on to the final lap of the race. He's got a 25-second gap to Van Dijk and P2. He's managed to get those yellow wood softs a ludicrous distance. And he has just absolutely owned this race. He dominated out in Bahrain, and it's been a similar affair here today from Mustafa Moradi. Just a few corners now separating him in that checkered flag. Oh no, he spun! There goes Moradi. He's got 26 seconds to Van Dijk. Does clip the wall. I was just about to say it's been a flawless drive from Mustafa Moradi as he runs into the wall there. Not quite a flawless drive then, Mustafa, unfortunately. He wants to show he's not perfect, perhaps, but the final lap, it doesn't matter. The gap's still big enough. Mustafa Moradi comes around the final corner and crosses the line to win the Challenger split of the Formula Trout Premier Series here at the Red Bull Ring. What a performance. Wow. Jannes Van Dijk will come home in P2 with an absolute charge on those softs. Phenomenal stuff. The Amorim brother, Giovanni Amorim, there goes Van Dijk round. Giovanni Amorim will cross the line in P3. Aronov will be further behind in P4. It's not been a bad race from Pavel at all today. Keys Willems as well in P5 as well. Bit of a silent warrior. And that will be it for today in the Formula Trout Premier Series Challenger split. Mustafa Moradi taking the win again. An absolute dominant performance. Jannes Van Dijk coming home P2. Giovanni Amorim P3 rounding out the podium. Bit of a love tap from Amorim there as we speak. And Aronov P4, Willems P5, Amorim P6, Lutels P7, Dalla Valle P8, Semenuk P9, Fox P10, and then McGeaney and Canini rounding out the field just outside the points. Visitis, Sharma, Deacon, Kamashov, Yatsek and Elston all unfortunately retiring from this race. But my oh my, has it been an exciting one. Now make sure to stick around here on the Formula Trout Twitch. We'll be taking a brief break before we are back shortly with the Master Split. Thank you for tuning into the Challenger Split, and we will see you in the future. So thank you for now.